Take a farmer,
a photographer,
and a teenage girl,
buy a bus,
add a dog,
and let the adventure begin.
Welcome to episode 6, O'Neill's on the Run Life in a Bus. And this episode, we're continuing on with the build and just continuing on from last week where we touched on the electrical system and the technology and a bit about the bus herself. So this week, we'll deep dive a little bit further into some of the other systems we have going on. But before we do that, I'll hit you with the motivational because I forgot to give it to you last week. So this week is travel while you're young and able. Don't worry about the money, just make it work. Experience is far more valuable than money ever will be. Amen. That's the whole motivation. That's the goal. Rightio. So I've got Tom with me today. Ali's opting out. She's slothing in the sloth hole and nodding her head, wishing that we just didn't even mention her existence probably. But first,
what are you talking about? Her? We'll start on her bed if you want.
Okay, we can talk about Ali's bed, aka the sloth hole. That's the first thing. So we've got our queen size bed down the back. It's gas lift, heaps of storage underneath. We have sort of talked on that a little bit in the past, and the foot of our bed faces at that back window, so we get a cracking view morning and evening. But Ali's bed, also gas lift.
Yeah. Bought the gas lift thing. Oh, it's not a kit. I just bought the gas lift and put it in there. Just
Good
just
old
like
Bunnings.
you would with a toolbox.
Yeah, Bunnings. And now Ali is super duper tall like her dad, so she has a king long single, which we got the mattress from OMF to fit her lanky ass in. Tom also built the frame.
Yeah, it's just welded together, 25 by 25 RHS.
He makes that sound super easy, but it really wasn't. Because also under Ali's bed, we have the air vent for the diesel heater.
That's right. That's where it was mounted before we bought the bus.
Yeah, so when we bought the bus, it had a diesel heater. And I guess we could talk about that this episode too. But so we've built that bed frame around needing to cover that up and things as well, and put the ducting and things under Ali's bed. And as I said, gas lift, so she's got quite a bit of storage under there. I don't think she uses most of it. Is it full?
I use most of it.
Oh,
yeah.
she uses most of it, she reckons. I don't know, maybe there's
Mostly
books. There you go, mostly books under there. Yeah, so the main thing, we sort of juggled around with the layout in the front of the bus quite a bit, where we were going to put things and seats and kitchens, and it was kind of a last minute change to put Ali's bed where it is, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. It just pushed it up. It's right up against the driver's seat at the back, where the dogs sit when we're traveling as well.
Yeah, so I'll put a little video up, I think, later of some of these things that we'll talk about today. So on the driver's side of the bus, you've got the driver's seat, and then it goes straight into Ali's bed. And as I said, it's the extra long single. It's got the gas lift storage, and then but we wanted that to be our couch because remembering initially Ali wasn't going to come with us. This was going to be an Ali free busing adventure when we started designing. But so the bed is also the couch, and I upholstered a cover and some cushions and stuff. So it's pretty comfy as a couch, but it is also for now Ali's bed. Another year or so, Ali's off to uni, army, something, and that becomes our couch again, which will be nice.
Yeah, that's right. It'd be nice to have somewhere to sit other than our bed.
Yeah, we do find that a little bit because Ali's on the couch, that we do find we sit in bed all the time, which I really hate. Try to sit on the outdoor chairs more, but you just find like I eat dinner in bed, watch TV in bed, just sit in my bed. Like it's a bad habit, and I just want to get out of that really a little bit. Anything more to add on that one?
No, not really. Do you want to work back on that side or start at the seat?
I was gonna not do seats this one, but we can do seats if you want. You're
Right.
throwing my whole list out of order. You're chaos.
That's all right.
Chaos.
So the seat you wanted to face forward when we're traveling, and the only way you could face forward with the original seats were in it, they were made, as a lot of buses are, were made as a table with the chairs around them.
Yeah, so when we bought the bus, it initially had two sets of double seats facing each other with the table in the middle, which meant if I sat in the front seats, I had to face backwards, which I didn't like. And if I sat in the back side of the seats, I couldn't really see out the windscreen and stuff. I had to just look out the side window. So I really didn't find it a comfortable traveling position. So now with our drive seats, our seat belted drive seats, as is the legal requirement, you've got to have a seat belted drive seat for every bed space. We've got 3 bed spaces and 5 seat belted seats. So we actually have over the requirement. We've put the double seats facing forwards, like they would have been in any old bus, I guess. And then
Yeah, that's right.
Tom,
They're just bolted through the floor. The previous the holes lined up with the previous seats that were in it fairly well,
we
and that
just
was
turned it.
already been plated and everything underneath, so it would have been passed originally, and I just used the plates and that were there.
Yeah. Tom just drifted off. Sorry, I was looking out the window, all distracted by our beautiful view here at Rathmines fishing point at the moment.
Yeah, I think the main thing with the seats is just to make sure they're all bolted in well, and the seat belts are actually part of the seats. The seats that we pulled out were out of, I think, a Ford Transit van, and everything was bolted, and it was a nightmare because the seat belts were bolted, and then the other bit were bolted. Where the ones we put in now, the seat belts are all part of the chairs, which makes it easier. There's just 4 bolts holding in
Yeah,
each
we've got
chair.
the actual like coach seats. We went and found some coach seats and put them in. So the first set of double set face forward, and then the back seat, the second set just reversed facing backwards from that. But that's also allowed me to build in underneath. So I've got a shoe drawer that slides out from the front. So literally as you walk up the steps, you can pull a drawer open, and that's where all our sneakers and pluggers and bits and pieces go. And then the drawer under the back is Ali uses that for her clothes or her everyday clothes. And I've boxed and framed it all in. And then between the seats, she's actually put all of her textbooks and things for school and a paper mess, all sorts of things she stores in there, but it's supposed to be for school books.
Yeah, and she uses the seat straight across from her as like an extra storage area. It's just piled up with crap.
Okay, so I guess that's Ali's pile of crap. And following on from there, we should chat a little bit about some of the appliances we've got in the bus. So when we bought it had a hot water system in. It was one of those little gas operated, but tank. Was it gas?
Yeah, yeah, it's gas, but it had a tank, and you had to flick it on to warm it up. It was a 40-litre tank that was in it, which I've since found out are pretty good. But we put a Chemex instant hot water in, which is 6 litres per minute, which seems to be enough with the pump. It's not like boiling or scalding hot, but it's hot enough.
It's hot enough to have
put
a
in.
shower, and it's hot enough to do dishes. Like you don't put cold on, but it's hot enough, and it's instant, so we're not wasting hot water or waiting for anything to warm up, I guess. And
No, it seems to start all right. The only problems you have with it is when you run out of gas and it just takes a while for it to start again. You just got to try and start it a few times.
yeah, yeah. And we did have an issue with it when we bought it. What was it?
The screen was playing up, but it still was
does.
working, yeah. And the screen still does play up, but it works, so we haven't fiddled with it. While it's working, we're not going to touch it.
Yeah, so that's a Chemex instant hot gas. We find it does the job. We don't shower in the bus a lot. We mostly use amenities where we can. So
No, and I think I picked that up for $600 anyway, so it
So-
wasn't dear. Where you're looking, I think about $2,000 for the system that was in it, but it was all ruined anyway.
yeah, yeah. So we replaced that with the hot water system. We also replaced the oven and cooktop that was in. There was like an old caravan type oven and cooktop in it. We went for the Thetford triplex gas oven and cooktop with the grill in. I love it. Ali doesn't love it so much. She reckons it doesn't get hot enough.
If you put stuff at the bottom, it's not hot enough, but if it's in the middle of the oven, it's fine.
And I guess the only other complaint would be the 3 hot plates on the top. One's big and 2 are small. And like if you've got a big saucepan on the big one, you can't really fit anything on the little 2. It's hard to do 2 pots of anything or 2 trays of anything on, but we do get around that mostly. And then you could just do what I did last night and forgot to turn the oven off all night, made the bus super hot and had no gas this morning. So
Yeah, that's right. And since we've done that, we bought an air fryer, which we seem to be using a lot as well.
yeah, obviously we can only use that when we're plugged into power, but we do Yeah, we do tend to use the air fryer a little bit. It's just quick and easy, so we do use the air fryer a little bit. And that's a new toy that we're playing with. Other appliances we popped in, fridges. We've got the Brass Monkey upright. Do you know what size it is?
138
138. He's all over the specs. I tell you, I got nothing on the specs front, but Tom's all over it. And it is the fridge down the bottom, freezer on the top, and we actually raised it up. So it sits on a 600 mil pot drawer is the caboodle word for it, which raises it up. So we're not bending down to floor level to get everything out of the bottom, which I think was a good idea.
Yeah, it's a good fridge, but when you've got it stacked with a lot of food, it's there's like really cold zones and hot zones. Like if you put a carton of eggs in the top, the back couple of eggs freeze and the front's not quite cool enough. Like it doesn't seem to cycle. Like it needs another fan in there or something to cycle it around.
Yeah, we also probably put way too much shit in it on grocery day.
Yeah.
Probably. And apart from that, we also have the Kings downstairs.
Yeah, it's just a little 20 litre that we run on freezer a bit, just sits down the bottom, or an alcohol one that we use at
Overflow
Christmas. Yeah.
Or put in the freezer. Yeah, so pretty much we bought it. We didn't have it when we left, but we added it after we hit the road because we were too lazy to keep walking upstairs to get beers. So put a downstairs fridge in so we could sit down there and drink margaritas.
right.
Actually, I think it was on the day, but
Yeah, when we were at Budgie, we went and got it.
yeah, we went to the Gosford. Is it Gosford Supercentre?
Yep.
Yeah, and picked that one up there. So that's been good. And now like Tom gets the shits when I put my fish and bait and stuff in the fridge, and the whole fridge smells like bait. So I put it in the downstairs one now, so it offends him a bit less.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she can't smell bait.
No, farmer knows. Can't smell anything. And TVs, we run 2 TVs as we've said before. So both smart TVs, one at the back over the bed. Now, what are those? The system called that we got the brackets on? Do you remember what
No,
they're
I
called?
don't remember. We got them from
Tow World.
Tow World in yeah, but I can't
Tow World.
remember. You can buy a lot of them. They're steel. They're pretty good duty, and you can they're pretty universal.
Yeah, so we've got a mounting system with a bracket that you can swim in and out, back and forwards and adjust. And then because we like to sit out under the awning, we put a bracket on the outside of the bus as well because we just got an Ali and a Mimi coming in from a walk making a racket. We're podcasting. Blue dog jumping around the bus now. Yeah, so we put a bracket back to where got distracted by the dog. Yeah, we put a bracket on the outside of the bus wall so we can actually put our second TV outside. It just mounts off the wall of the bus when we're outside, and then it has a second bracket right up the front of the bus on the counter, sort of at the front counter where we put it while we're in transit. So we do run the 2 TVs on that one. Yeah. Any other major appliances? I mean, computers and crap. But
No, both the TVs are smart TVs, and then I just bought a little pure sine wave 150 watt inverter, which runs one at the back.
yeah. So and then we have an inverter downstairs and a
Yeah,
power point.
200 watt one.
Yeah, for the outside TV. So that's the main appliances I think we've put into it. We do have a range hood. It was in it when we bought it. We don't really use it much. Probably should use it more. And I have the Dyson vacuum, but we rarely use it. And I just blow out with the Makita blower vac every day. Does a good job. Next on from appliances, I guess we'll talk about the plumbing. This will be Tom's category because I don't know much about it apart from we got some tanks and a pressure pump.
Yeah, well, we left the original pressure pump in, and
it's a 12-volt pressure pump.
And then we already had tanks. Water tanks in initially, which were 200 litres, and then I did a fair bit of measuring up, and I found a spot in between the chassis rail where I could fit another 4 or 5 tanks on it. It got us to 400 litres of fresh water we cart, and then we have a 100-litre tank of grey water. Yeah, which usually just goes straight out. We rarely store it, only when you're at campsites that make you store it, we store it.
Yeah.
And that just runs, and then I've just plumbed the sink in straight into that, pretty much just runs straight down and into that tank, so it's sort of lined up fairly well, so just air-spanned in the sink, and then the initial plumbing from the shower runs into it as well, but it's a smaller hose, so it takes a while to drain.
And we forgot to talk about the washing machine. So I have
Yeah.
a Q2 low flow, low pressure, 3 kg washing machine, and we fitted it in the through bin underneath.
Yeah, and we can't store that water because the washing machine doesn't have a pump in it. So that we've got to have the hose out for it to go straight out onto the ground from the washing machine.
Yeah, but it's a fabulous little washing machine. Like, I think it cost me $450, and the money it saved, like doing the laundry thing, it's paid for itself probably 10 times over already, really,
Yeah,
compared to
it seems to
laundry.
wash everything all right. It's
As long as
just
you
that,
don't overload it and it's small.
yeah, and then not having the pump's a bit of a pain in the ass where it's just got to run out.
Yeah,
It's got to actually gravity feed out.
But yeah, and it only uses I think between 17 and 28 liters of water, so it is very water efficient for a washing machine. We did have a dishwasher as well, but I never used it, so I sold it. We had a little one of those benchtop media dishwashers. It worked fine, everything was great, but we just didn't use it very much. Ali used it a bit. She was dirty when I sold it, but we really, for the space it took up, I couldn't justify keeping it. But yeah, back onto plumbing.
And then everywhere else I put in lines, you just buy same thing from Tow World. I'm pretty sure they're 12 mil pipe. You run around and you buy red and blue pipe, and just these little plumbing fittings, which I found out you got to buy all the bits for. They don't sell. It doesn't come in a kit, so you got to buy the joiner, and then there's circlets that hold the joiner on the stuff that coming out, and then
And they were quite expensive, weren't they? All the little joiners and clips and stuff.
But touch wood, we haven't had a problem with any of the plumbing. We did initially trying to get it in, but once it was in, we've never had a problem with any of it.
Yeah, it all seems to work pretty well. And we just fill up. We run it through the hose. We have a filter, an inline hose filter.
Just one that we got from Super Cheap.
Yeah, that just filters our tap water as it's coming in, so we have filtered water throughout. And then in the bus, on the kickboard below the kitchen unit, I actually have a little water monitor that gives me an idea of how full the tanks are. So I can just have a little look, without going outside and trying to guess how much water's in. It's not super accurate, but it does give me a bit of an estimate onto how much water we've got underneath. So that's pretty good. Anything else you want to add on to the plumbing?
No, that's about it. Have fun doing it if you're going to try it.
Yeah, Tom didn't really like doing the plumbing. We don't store black water as much as we've just got a toilet with a cassette. But we don't have a dedicated black water tank.
Yeah, never used it. Never going to clean it.
Yeah, Tom won't use the indoor toilet, so he will not empty the indoor toilet. And he doesn't really fit in the shower, I guess. Being so tall, I shower in there perfectly fine. He struggles a little bit, but I guess on the next thing we should have a little chat about is the bus security. Firstly, I guess it's the blue heeler sitting here puffing and panting because Ali's just taken her for a walk. So that's security detail number one. She's pretty useless at night, but she looks tough and she talks a big game.
Yeah. The other one is we had cameras, which probably aren't as good now because they're not, if we're away from the bus, unless we've got the actual Starlink hooked up, they don't work. Where before we used to, because the Netgear was running all the time, it'd work. So you just let them hooked up, and then if somebody came near the bus or anything, you just get a message to your phone.
Yeah, so we have the security cameras, one over the front door so you could see the door, and then the other one's magnetic, so we could either sit it on the back or the trailer or wherever we wanted for a different angle. They're pretty handy, but we don't use them as much as I think we thought we were going to use them. We probably should use them more.
Yeah, I think we will, but yeah, just the worst thing having the Wi-Fi set up to use them.
Yeah. And then I think the bestest thing about the bestest decision we ever made was the lock on the front door.
Oh yeah, we just put a touch keypad lock, so anybody can leave the bus and you're not carting keys, and anybody that gets back first, if they haven't got a key, they can get in.
Yeah, so we all have a PIN number, and the bus can be locked up. There's no carting keys, remembering where we put the key, hiding a key for someone, or going to the amenities and then coming back and you can't get in because someone else has the key. Best decision we ever made, I think, was to putting that touch keypad on the door. I reckon it's great.
Yeah, it's just a Lockwood one, and it's travelled fantastic. We've never had any trouble with it.
No, I think it cost about 450 bucks. Something. It wasn't super cheap, but
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's been one of the best decisions instead of carrying a lanyard full of keys like we see everyone else and losing keys and stuff. But
Yeah, and then the only thing I had to do was pull the lock apart and turn the slamming latch back the other way. So because the door opens out where most doors open in, that was the only thing I had to change because the door opens out, so I had to turn it all around.
yeah, yeah. So I guess while we were talking about plumbing and things, we could talk briefly about the bathroom. The bathroom was already in. I give it a little bit of a makeover and a bit of love, a bit of a tidy up. Put some shelves in there, put some tic tac tiles, which are the self adhesive tiles on the back wall. Put a towel rack in there. It's all fully functional. Shower, toilet. My dad made a nice little duck board in there for us to stand on. But we don't use it. I had this idea that we were going to shower in there all the time, but if we've got amenities, we share in amenities because I figure you're paying for it, you might as well use it. And then we put the outdoor shower on the driver's side of the bus, which does get a bit of use. Like if we dye our hair, we wash it out there so we don't put hair dye in. We've used it to bath the dog. We wash muddy sneakers or wash off the paddle board. Like the outdoor shower has probably been a better investment than the indoor shower, really.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so yeah, bathroom. A lot of people put a lot of effort into bathrooms, and I guess if you had little kids or you're elderly, but really we just use the amenities where they are, and then if we have to use ours, we use ours, but we don't use it as often as we thought we would. So probably didn't need to go too much into that. And I guess one more thing for finish off for the night, we might talk about we put the Apple CarPlay system in the front.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one it is, but it's just a I think wireless Apple CarPlay system, which I use a little bit when I'm doing directions and that, but I don't use it a lot.
Music.
Yeah, sometimes.
But just to bring like a 1987 bus into a bit of a modern technology space, I think. So yeah, we play a bit of music through it. We have speakers right down the centre aisle of the bus for music. So we do use it a bit for music, a bit for directions, a little bit when you're taking phone calls, but it's pretty hard to hear when the bus is going because she's a bit of a noisy old girl. But yeah.
No, I think you can hear it all right. The engine's at the back.
But she's wind noise and stuff. I guess because you open the side windows. But yeah, I don't know. Anything else you want to talk about?
Do you want to do the kitchen or anything?
Oh, what about gas? Where we're going? It's kind of plumbing.
Oh, gas. I just got a gas fitter to come and plumb it in. Just a nice little cast job because it's all got to be plated and certified. So it's just a double gas bottle system. Runs the instant hot water, runs the stove
and the barbecue point.
And the barbecue point, which is just a bayonet fitting.
Yeah, so I think that was
and because it's got a regulator and everything on it, you haven't got to have a regulator on your barbecue.
Yeah, I think that was a good idea, putting the bayonet fitting out through the side wall of the bus. So then we literally just clip our barbecue in. We're not rabbiting around underneath the bus trying to hook the hose up and things. I think it makes life a lot easier. And when we started, we cooked on the barbecue like every day, and then it kind of went out of fashion for a bit, but now we got it out again.
Yeah, a lot of people don't cook inside because of the meat and that. And I noticed it a bit when I was cooking today, actually. The flies come in like nobody's business as soon as you start cooking meat inside.
But we really do cook in here all the time. But I guess I'm such an open window, open door person. Like I'm a fresh air person, so it's not really shut up very often. But if you did have it shut up all the time and you're cooking in here, I think, oh God, the dog's growling and carrying on here in the background. She got something to say, has she? She got something to say, Tom? No, just slobbering. No. Tom's trying to get her to speak up on the camera, but she does not want to partake in the podcast. Rightio. Did you come up with a joke there, Tom?
No, I haven't got one.
No jokes again this week. No fun facts. We're super organised, as you can tell. Next week, I think we will sort of round off our build a bit. I think we'll just go through a little things like wall materials and our overheads and USB ports and all that kind of stuff. Little bits and pieces that we use to finish off. Oh my God, the dog's bouncing around in here. And then the week after, we'll probably go towing, and then it'll nearly be time for us to hit the road, really, with our travel side of our podcast.
Yeah, that's right. Hope you enjoyed the podcast this week. We rambled on a bit.
We rambled on. We had a flat battery mid recording. We've had a bit of technical issues, but we got there in the end. So I hope you enjoyed. See you all again next week. Remember, give us a call if you want to join in and be on the podcast. We'd love to hear from you. And catch you all again next week. Make sure you follow us on all the social media channels at O'Neill's on the Run and tune in regularly to come along with us on this crazy adventure.